Welcome back to Mornings with Dave King and Matt Martin. We are broadcasting from the Thacker Jewelry Studios. Thacker Jewelry buys gold and silver jewelry. Call 806-794-7766 to have your gold and silver jewelry professionally appraised. Oh,
I think we have Eddie on the phone.
Oh, Eddie, I apologize. I thought you were 7:30, but
Yeah, I did too. But hey, we'll take you.
We'll take you now. I'm free for that. I apologize, Eddie.
I might have screwed y'all up or something at 7 o'clock. I don't mind talking Amy Coney Barrett either. I think that's huge news. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no, it's fine. Hey, just want to introduce you, Eddie McBride, the president and CEO of the Lubbock Chamber of Commerce. We got Eddie on the phone. And, Eddie, you got a lot going on over there. Now, I want to ask you this question because this is the most important thing. Are you going to have the barbecue cook-off?
Well, we did have it.
It's already been done. See there, I missed it.
Well, let me tell you what happened. And it was because of, obviously, all the restrictions that were put in place and all the social distancing and everything. We had a cook competition only last Thursday. So instead of being open to the public, it was a private event only. And it was just the cooking teams and their guests and folks that they bought tickets to attend. So it was what we characterized it as the little barbecue that could. So it was it's either a big tailgate, if you want to look at it from that perspective, or a semi-big tailgate. But nonetheless, we had a good time. We had some cooking teams that obviously worked pretty hard and had 6 different categories. So we didn't announce it and everything because obviously we were trying to restrict, people trying to figure out if they could come to it or not.
Hey, this is one of Lubbock's great community events. Is what it's turned into. I mean, thousands of people show up for it each year. Let's hope that next year we can get this thing back on track, huh?
Well, yes, sir, and we're talking to the teams and making sure that obviously we set the stage for obviously the cooking teams to want to come back next year as well. I talked to quite a few of the cooking teams, and of course they like the overnight cook is important, but we only did a day cook. So it was only those categories that we knew that they could get stuff done starting in the morning and turning it in for judging by the afternoon. So it became the prioritization was to make sure that the cooking teams had a good opportunity to compete in a lot of categories. So that part was fun. So thanks for asking, Matt. Sorry I didn't tell you all that before.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. We just we completely missed it. I thought it was in October sometime, but
but let's talk about the TABC. Starting tomorrow. I guess bars can reopen. You know, we always depend on you, and of course, one question I want to ask you is how are businesses doing? I guess that the bars that have been closed are ecstatic about being able to open up the 14th tomorrow.
Yes, sir. It's kind of a mixed bag because all of them were hurting pretty bad. The ones that didn't convert to some type of dining operation so that they could stay open and provide food. But 50% occupancy, if you talk to them as we have, it's 50% occupancy is better than no occupancy, but it's still awful difficult to really bring in enough money to make ends meet, as far as paying the rent and paying the staff and everything because 50% occupancy, just like restaurants. A lot of the restaurants didn't open up at 50% occupancy because it was too much to pay for overhead and everything to try to make money. So I do know some of them will open. Some of the restaurants I've also heard, or some of the bars that added food operations are going to stay with food operations because of the 50% occupancy requirement for bars. But at least all wineries, distilleries, and breweries, at least you can start sampling now. So that's good news as far as having that available. But if you're not sampling at one of the counters or something, you have to be seated in social distancing. It's a shame that we didn't move to this type of status, this type of restriction earlier instead of just closing everything down entirely.
And here's the big deal. The thing that they got angry about, I think, were more of like clubs with dance floors. Why didn't they just shut the dance floors down to start with? And I can tell you right now, I've went to some places that didn't serve alcohol that had dance floors open, and nobody said anything about that. So I feel like it's been very the way they've done this has not really been equitable. Would be a good way to put it.
There's been a lot of across the board of inequities like that, like you just mentioned, Matt. And this is all new, and they can't do a one-size-fits-all, I'm sure. This coincides perfectly with the National Health Organization is now saying, there's a story this morning that they are warning against, he came out, Dr. Nabarro, this is with the National Health Organization. Look, he said lockdowns can help a little bit as you regroup, or if your health coworkers are exhausted, but the cost is enormous, and they should not be primarily a primary strategy. The cost of lockdowns he's talking about. So this is the first time that the organization has come out against these lockdowns. He's saying we need to get things open, and boy, I would imagine you would agree, Eddie.
And that's the World Health Organization, the WHO, Dave, and that's isn't this just a 180 from where they've been before?
Right.
And and it just goes to show there is no perfect science. There is no perfect way to run a response to a pandemic, and we just this whole difficult thing that we found ourselves in has just crushed so many businesses, crushed so many families, and it's something that folks were saying a long time ago about the lockdown. There's better ways to control it. I don't know too many people that knows precisely how to run a response to this type of pandemic, but I know from the president to the governor to the mayor, it's been a very difficult response, and I know that it's just hard to figure out what's the best way to respond to this. They just said something yesterday that we've known all along, that a lockdown for the period of time that we did is probably more harmful to our economy and to our social and well-being than obviously what we're trying to protect.
Hey, so Eddie, we do have a question from the text messages. They want to know if the Lubbock Chamber has a pack.
Yes, we have an issues-only pack, and we support obviously things like like Get Out the Vote. We did a Get Out the Vote. We'll be doing a Get Out the Vote effort starting today as well. We had a news conference yesterday with the judge and the mayor. So we have a general issues pack that obviously looks at like the bond election. Our PAC supported the Friendship Independent School District bond election. So yes, we do.
Do y'all have any? Do y'all have any candidates that you back?
No, we do not endorse candidates at this point in time. I can let you know that obviously we are working towards that. We're examining the opportunity going forward with the Political Action Task Force that we very well could consider that, but we're not in that game as of yet.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a quick break. We got Eddie McBride, the president and CEO of the Lubbock Chamber of Commerce, on the line, and we'll be right back with him on News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO. Welcome back to Mornings with Dave King and Matt Martin. And we're going to go back to the phones real quick with Eddie McBride, the president and CEO of the Lubbock Chamber of Commerce. And Eddie, what else does the chamber have going on right now?
Well, it's always a busy season at the chamber, of course. Today we've been continuing our webinar series, our COVID-19 Pivot webinar series, and we surveyed our membership and found out what businesses needed. So we're doing some things that I think that are attending straight to their needs. Today we're talking about HR changes during and after the pandemic. It's a virtual webinar series that we've been very successful at getting people some help with. Next week on October 20th, we're doing the new norm of child care, because as we all know, COVID has really impacted businesses and business people who need child care. So we're going to talk about some of the things that we've accommodated businesses through that end of it. Then we're going to talk about, obviously, what the status of PPP loans and things of that nature, if there is any status, by October 27th. And then on November the 3rd, we'll talk about what to expect during and after the pandemic when it comes to hiring. So we've been doing a lot of help in that respect as far as finding places for businesses to get information about helping their business.
Yeah.
So those are, and you can sign up on those even this morning at 10 o'clock. They're all around 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. So folks can go to lubbockchamber.com and go to the COVID-19 page, and then they could sign up for those webinars and be very helpful.
So let me ask you this. You were talking about HR changes, before and after COVID-19. What is the fear out there? And I don't know how much would be from Lubbock businesses, but overall from businesses that you've seen about being sued over COVID-19 exposures.
Well, that's what we're so upset about. The Congress can't get off dead center at getting the business liability insurance that they're considering right now. The business insurance, business liability coverages would protect business owner operators from both not just employees. If you're following all the CDC and COVID-19 precautions set by your state and your locality, they're trying to push some coverages that would protect businesses in that environment, not only what they do to protect their employees, but also their customers and their guests. So that's stalled in Congress right now. So we're very upset that obviously we can't get that very important. It's just necessary. We've been talking about the whole time during COVID. There's nothing that really protects it like what this new legislation allows them to do. So we're hoping that there is some conclusion. But, it's such a crazy time right now in Washington, D.C., between the administration and the House and the Senate. I just don't know. I don't have the confidence that they can get anything done.
So in January, could the state of Texas do something?
Yeah, I think although I haven't seen anything specifically, I know there has been conversations about it. And I know our Senator Perry and Representatives Frullo and Burrows, they all know how important it is. So we'll, you got to take the lead by the federal government, what they'll do. And if not, I hope that the state can do something to help provide some protection.
Hey, Eddie,
yes,
I know that Leadership Lubbock is one of the Chamber's most successful programs, I guess we'd call it.
Yes, sir.
And I think since its inception in 1975, it said more than 1,800 men and women have participated in this, and if I'm reading this correctly, it looks as though that you are now trying to fill 2021 classes.
We did, yes, sir. We announced it last week, and thank you for bringing that up, Dave, because, yes, sir, we announced our 2021 Leadership Lubbock class, and also last week, week before last, actually, we announced our top 20 under 40 winners for the young professionals of Lubbock. So we've had a couple of great positive announcements for the community, for the business community, and folks can go to the lubbockchamber.com website and see both who those folks are for 20 under 40 winners, as well as who our Leadership Lubbock 2021 class is.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's good.
Eddie, do y'all have anything else going on at the Chamber that I know that y'all don't have any big events coming up, but do y'all have anything else going on?
We do have the crown jewel event of our agricultural committee is going to be on the 20th. It's going to be next week on October 22nd on Thursday, a week from this coming Thursday. And our ag committee features obviously what's everything good about agriculture in our region. And we have Dr. Darren Hudson, who's he's a professor at Tech, and he's the Larry Combest Chair of Agriculture and Applied Economics, an extremely intelligent guy, and just does a wonderful job of explaining what the status of all of our commodities here in West Texas is. So obviously our ag committee has been one of our longest serving committees, so this is a great way for us to spread the word about the good things that's going on in agriculture. So again, more information about that at our website, lubbockchamber.com.
Okay.
But that's next Thursday a week.
That's one of those things we think about business as being restaurants and stores, retail stores, but my word, the biggest business by far and away is cotton. In fact, Lubbock is the largest cotton-producing county in America.
It's going to be a bad year for cotton.
Yeah, some people are doing okay though. I mean, so it's that's one of the things that Dr. Hudson will tell us as well.
Okay.
So if anybody's interested in that, lubbockchamber.com, and it's again everything we're doing now is hybrid, both in person and virtual.
So Eddie, we're down to 30 seconds, but we do have a question from a listener. Says, how are hotels and airlines doing right now in Lubbock?
Well, the national airlines are not doing too well. They've had a bunch of very serious layoffs. Hotels, I would say that there has been an increase. There has been a trend of increased occupancy, but they've still got a long way to go before they get back to where they've been before. But at least there has been some activity.
All right, Eddie, thank you so much for coming on. We'll be back.